a string of people, quiet please. I had a string of people come in and they're like, I don't get this. And then as soon as I showed them, they're like, oh. Tonight's homework will be the same thing. They'll give you an A, a B, and a C. A is like the first part of the problem, B is the second part, and C is how you get to the final answer. Okay. Yes, it will be as simple as what it looks like. All right. Any questions on last night's homework?
Number 14.
Number 14. Let's take a look at number 14. Yep, same. Says the following. It says, it's a card game. A says the probability of getting a B card. How many cards have the B on it?
5.
5 out of
20.
20. Okay. Part B says a blue card greater than 3. What's a blue card greater than 3? Well, I'm counting. The cards actually go up to the number 5. So how many are greater than 3?
10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many of these are greater than 3?
5. 4 and 5.
What?
2.
How many of these are greater than 3?
4 and 5.
There's 2 of them. However, you have 2 groups of blue cards, so that would give you a total of 4. So we got a 4 out of 20.
Yeah.
Lastly, it says combine the 2 together. So what do you do for mutually exclusive events?
You have that.
Which would give us
10, 20.
what?
9, 20.
What?
7. Oh, no, sorry. 9.
All right, there we go. Okay. Tonight for homework, it's going to literally look like the same page, except it'll be different. It'll be what we learned today. Okay. But hopefully you're not confused by the A and the B part. Remember, the A and the B is all part of that one formula. The probability of A or B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B. So when they write the question, part A is this part B is this part, and part C is, well, you add the 2 together. That was for last night. Today we got a different formula. Okay? Bit more complicated, but not impossible. Any other questions? All right, let's go over the answers. Number 2, the answer is 0.77. Number 4, 5/12.
I got 13.
The probability of the first one, B, is 1/3. The probability of A or B is 3/4. It says, what's the probability of A? So let's see. A was the unknown, so that's our X. Plus the probability of B was 1/3. And we're told that that equals the probability of A or B is 3/4.
Oh, I thought it. Oh.
Because it didn't tell you what A was. It said B, and it said A or B.
I thought you said add them.
If they give you A and B, they didn't give you A. You just solve this equation. What's attached to X?
Nothing. Oh, plus 1/3.
How do we get rid of plus 1/3? Minus 1/3. Any common denominators? Common denominator is, is 12. So let's turn these into a 12 times 3. So that would give me 9 12s minus 9 minus 4 is, why did I write a 5? 9 minus. All right. Number 6, A is 1/6, B is 1/3, C is 1/2. Number 8, A is 1/2, B is 1/2. Number 10, A is 1/2, B is 1/6, C is 2/3. Blue. There are 2 out of 12, that would be 1/6. Number 12, A is 1/5, B is 2/5, C is 3/5. Turn around, Landon. And number 14, we went over it. B was 1/4. I'm sorry, A was 1/4, sorry. B was 1/5, and C was 9/20. All right, that was it. All right, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff. What? I'll go.
Oh.
So that we don't have any. All right, nothing going on until Wednesday of next week. We will, do we finish the chapter? I believe we finished the chapter. I think 11:9 is the last section. We'll do 3 days of CMAS prep. Remember, you're taking the math and the science course. I'll throw a couple of the CMAS questions in. I can't prepare you like perfectly for a CMAS test. I don't know what the questions are. I can show you what the questions look like, some of them, but I can't show all of them. So instead of doing that, we just do a general Q1, Q2, Q3 review, everything we've learned this year. And you take your test. You'll take it all that week right there. Have fun. Enjoy. Tonight for homework.
Here we go. Can 6 through 11 be extra points?
No. The answers are in the back of the book.
I'm starting down here.
All right, here we go. So yesterday we did mutually exclusive. It turns out that the opposite, you can figure this out, Jane, you're pretty smart. It turns out that the opposite of mutually exclusive, well, you would think they would call it non-mutually exclusive. They don't. They give it another name, overlapping events. Okay? It is the opposite, though. So the opposite of mutually exclusive, it's the very next section in the book. Come on, you guys are 8th grade. You can figure this out. So the last few classes, we've been playing games. One of the games we played the spinner game. We calculate probability. And then yesterday, we learned about mutually exclusive events. Those are events that cannot happen, 2 or more events that cannot happen at the same time. Okay? The probability of 1, there's only one 1 up here. There's 8 things, so 1 out of 8. Mutually exclusive, the probability of a yellow or a 1. Those are 2 events that cannot happen at the same time. You can't both be yellow and be a 1. So we take the first one, 1 out of 8. Add it to the second one, 2 out of 8. 1 out of 8 plus 2 out of 8 is 3 out of 8. That's what you did last night for homework. Today we do the probability of yellow or a 2. Notice you can be both yellow and 2 at the same time. So not mutually exclusive. We call these overlapping events. Okay. Question is, well, how do you calculate? It's a formula. Right? The hardest thing is remembering all these formulas and to identify which, I don't know, type you are in. Is it just basic probability? Is it mutually exclusive? Or is it about what we're about to learn overlapping? By the way, there's 2 more after this one. Okay. So write this down, please, box 1. And I know you wrote it down once yesterday. There are 2 things in here. First one is what we did last night, mutually exclusive events. These are events that cannot happen at the same time. Remember, 1 game, 1 turn. Yeah, you can get a 4 and a 6 on a pair of die. You can't get it on 1 die in 1 roll. If I roll it twice, sure, I can get a 4 and a 6, or a 4 or a 6. But 1 game, or one game, 1 turn. Mutually exclusive. The opposite of that is called an overlapping event. That's where you have 2 or more events that can happen at the same time. That is crazy, Priscilla. I literally did not recognize you. For a second there, I was literally thinking, there definitely is a different girl in here. And I was like, are they going to introduce me to her? That's crazy. The glasses make that much difference. I would not have recognized you. You walk down the hallway, I would not have recognized you without your glasses. Now I will. Now I know what you look like.
Tomorrow she's going to wear the same glasses. She was just like, what is that? We have you, students.
All right, mutually exclusive, overlapping. That's just what you're going to put in box number 1. Box number 2, we're going to write the formulas for both of them. All right, remember, we're playing 1 game, 1 turn. 1 game, 1 turn. We played more than 1 turn. Lots of things can happen. Guess what the next 2 formulas we learn about? more than one term, right? And to calculate that probability. All right, some examples of overlapping events. A 1 or a 6, is that mutually exclusive or overlapping? Can that happen at the same time? Mutually exclusive. How about yellow or purple? Mutually exclusive or overlapping? Okay. 1 or purple? So, I mean, I made a big deal about the reason why this chapter is hard is because the first thing you got to do is figure out, well, which case am I in, and then use that right formula for these two. That part isn't too bad, okay? Even or odd? Mutually exclusive or overlapping? You can't be both even and odd at the same time, so that's mutually exclusive.
Except for 0.
Okay, 0 is even. The definition of even is a number that is, what's the definition of even? A number that is, don't say not odd, not divisible by itself,
Divisible by 2.
divisible by 2, and is 0 divisible by 2.
Yeah.
And it's even.
What's the definition of odd?
A definition of odd is a number that's not divisible by 2. 1 is not divisible by 2, it's odd.
No, 0 though.
Take your calculator, 0 divided by 2. Does it say no answer, or does it give you an answer? Is it a decimal?
It says 0.
Is it a decimal?
Yeah.
0 is not a decimal.
0.00.
Do 1 divided by 2. What does it say? Not a whole number.
0.5.
Integer, technically. Okay? So if you divide by 2 and you get an integer, it's even. If you divide by 2 and you get a decimal number, rational number, then it is not even. It's odd. Sorry, even or blue, mutually exclusive or overlapping. Do you understand the difference between overlapping and mutually exclusive?
Yeah.
Okay, that will be tonight your first thing. You got to figure out, is it mutually exclusive or overlapping? If it's mutually exclusive, you're going to use the formula from last night. If it's overlapping, well, we need a new formula. Get ready, copy it down. We got to put both because it could be one or the other. Do you remember the formula from last night?
Yeah.
What is it?
It was like probability of A plus the probability of B.
Yeah, but how did it start?
It was like equal A probability of A, B.
A or B equals the probability of A or B. A plus B, sorry. I said that. I still messed it up. Probability of A or B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B. Right. Let's move our pencils. Make sure you're putting this down. Yes, it's the same one you did last night. Okay. New formula. This one is longer.
It is very long.
Okay. It's not that. It's long because we're writing a lot of words. The actual doing the formula isn't that bad. All right. Overlapping events. Here it is. Yes, it looks like it's not that complicated. It says the probability of A or B is equal to probability of A plus the probability of B. Hey, it looks like mutually exclusive. We will subtract off the overlapping parts. The overlapping part is what A and B share in common. If we don't subtract it off, then we're including extra information. So for overlapping events, we subtract off the overlap. Like, why can't they just write overlap? Why is it? Well, because that's the way it has to be written.
How would you do that? Like,
Well, how about you wait until we do an example, and then you ask questions. Okay.
This is actually really.
The first part is exactly what you did last night for homework. A plus B. Technically, the probability of A plus probability. The second part, we're going to be subtracting something. What are you going to subtract? The part that they share in common. You already told me you know the difference between mutually exclusive and overlap. So therefore, you must already know the overlap. That's the part you're going to subtract off. Everybody got it copied down?
This is easy.
It takes longer to write the formula than to do the math.
Really?
Let's see how, it does sound complicated. It is not complicated. Watch me. You do have to know the difference between overlapping and mutually exclusive, though. I'm not sure I got everyone's attention. Connor.
Connor.
Yeah, Connor.
All right.
Don't bring him back.
Back up here. The way you keep it in your head is, well, remember, you can always use a resource card on any one of the tests that I give you. All right, here we go. Quick note. In both formulas now, there's either an and or both. Okay? Notice in the formula for mutually exclusive has the word or.
And then
The other one's got both. It's got an or and an and. And means they happen at the same time. That's the overlap. Or means one or the other. They don't overlap. Okay? All right. Ors, it's either one. Both formulas use it. So both mutually exclusive and overlapping use the word or. If you see the word and, you're talking about overlap. Okay? Let's see how this works. Stop what you're doing, look at the board. Okay? The probability of a 1 or a 6. Mutually exclusive or overlapping? So what's the formula? It's just PA plus PB. All right, so what's the probability of A? What's the probability of B? What's 1 over 6 plus, wait, 1 over 6?
1 over 8. Oh, I wasn't reading that.
Okay, so what's the probability of 1? What's the probability of 6? What's 1 over 8 plus 1 over 8? You said it was mutually exclusive. 2 over 8, which reduces to? Well, there you go. Remember, how do I know? If you're going to ask yourself, could they happen at the same time? The answer is no. Mutually exclusive, non-overlapping. All right, so we use that formula, which you just did in your head. All right? You did that whole thing in your head because it's not that complicated. Yes?
So we can get it from 6 to 1, 1, 8.
Because this isn't really a 6. It's a concept. It's the event. I'm getting a 6. 6 is not a value. 6 is just a thing. Hey, what does it take to win the game? I got to get a 6.
Oh.
There's only one of them on the spinner. But there's 8 things that can happen. Okay? All right, mutually exclusive, by the way, you did that last night for homework. 1 or purple. Mutually exclusive or overlapping? All right, now we better pay attention. Okay, we throw that into the formula because we know this could happen at the same time. If you're a 1, you're also purple. Okay, so we use the overlapping formula. It still looks the same. The probability of a 1. The probability of a 1. The probability of purple. So that part stays the same. The probability of 1 is 1 over 8. The probability of purple is 2 out of 8. Jenna, are you with me? I mean, you're really paying attention, yes? That means you're looking at the board. We have to subtract the overlap. Here's your 2 events. What part overlaps? What part overlaps? If I get an 8, is that an overlap?
No.
If I get a 1, is that an overlap?
Yes.
How many numbers are both 1 and purple?
1.
So what am I going to subtract?
1.
Out of
1.
1 out of 8. Okay.
So then that would equal.
So okay, so let's write the numbers. Okay, you said that probability of 1 is a 1 out of 8. You said the probability of purple is a 2 out of 8.
Wait.
And you said how many things overlap? 1 out of
8.
So then it would just be 2 out of 8.
which is?
2, 8.
1/4.
Or 1/4.
Did I say it was hard?
No.
Yes.
I didn't say it was hard. So you look at these 2 things and you say how many of these could happen at exactly the same time? How many things are both 1 and purple? Jackson? What 2 things are both 1 and purple? Just 1. Okay. Go ahead. That means the only things that overlap are just 1 out of 8 things. There's only 8 things that can happen. And only 1 of them, according to this event, overlaps. The events can change now. But for that, those 2 events right there, 1 and purple, only 1 of them meets both of these criteria. That's why this is an and. You have to be both a 1 and you have to be purple. Ors, remember, mutually exclusive. Or just means 1 or the other. That's why you add. Okay. All right, one more time. Even or blue? Mutually exclusive or overlapping? Okay. So what's A going to be?
Even.
What's B going to be?
Blue.
And we're going to subtract off what they have in common. Okay. Even. What's the odds? Or what's the probability? Sorry.
2/8.
I heard 2/8 and 4/8.
2/8.
Count. 1,
Oh.
2,
Wait, what?
3, 4. There are 4 even numbers.
You just started with 2, right?
I did.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4. So there's how many even numbers?
4.
Out of
8.
how many blue numbers?
3.
Out of
8.
how many are both even and blue?
1.
Out of
No, 2.
I'm letting him talk. How many are even?
2.
Out of
8.
Oh.
because there are 2 numbers that are both even and blue. Hey, ordinarily we hate fractions, but what do you notice? Hey, they're all got common denominators. No big deal. Final answer?
5.
And I would not reduce this because you want common denominators, right? Go ahead. Say again. So give me an example. Agree, it's in there. There are 2 numbers that are even in blue. There's a 4 and a 6 that are both even and blue. Okay. All right. This is on your paper. Odd or 8?
8.
Odd or 8? What are we at?
Wait.
We have mutually exclusive or overlapping? All right, mutually exclusive. So who's got the formula?
Wait. 8.
Oh. Yeah, okay. All right, who's got the formula? Go, Kristen, go. I can't hear because you guys are talking. Okay, that's the formula. All right, what's the probability of A? A is what in this case? It's odd.
Sorry.
So go ahead. How many? Let me catch up with you. How many?
1.
There's only one odd number up there. Which one?
1, 3, 5, 7.
How many fingers you got?
5.
One more time. 4. 4 out of
8.
All right, 4 out of 8. How many 8s up there? 1 out of. Okay, so what's the probability that you are odd or 8? All right, you tell me, easy or hard? What's the hardest part about this? Clearly, the hardest part is knowing whether it's mutually exclusive or overlapping. That's the hardest part. You can get a little bit twisted up in that if you're not paying attention. Okay. Box 4. Odd or red?
Red.
They're not coming to this one.
100%. 100%.
I went to a school where the kids literally couldn't count on their fingers.
Okay, you said how many fingers are holding? I said 5.
All right, I'll buy that argument.
Lucia.
I'll buy that argument. All right. Back up here. Back up here. Odd or red, mutually exclusive or overlapping? Overlapping. Okay. Overlapping. All right. Probability of odd.
4.
Clearly, we learned that there are 4 out of 8. Probability of red. Okay. And now, how many things are both red and odd? I can't make it hard. How many are both? That's what the and means. They're both odd and red. Okay. Can't say this.
Wait.
All right. So what do we got? So what's the final answer? Jenna's showing me hand arm signals, but she didn't reduce.
3.
Final answer.
3.
1/2. 4 out of 8 reduced would be 1/2. All right. Let's focus a little bit more. Come back. Let's come back. Focus a little bit more. All right. Is anyone lost?
Yes.
The hardest thing to do is simply you got to determine mutually exclusive or overlapping. Yeah.
Okay, so when a B, is this like by itself?
What?
Is this by itself?
What do you mean is it by itself? It's you calculate the probability of the second event. The second event will always be indicated by whatever's right there next to the word or.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Probability of red would be the probability of B.
But is it by itself?
What do you mean by itself?
Like the minus or plus thing?
I have no idea what you're
Like,
asking.
is it like, okay, you know how you find the answer to B? Like, if you have.
Right, we found the answer to B here. The probability of red was there's only one of them, so 1 out of 8.
No, like, okay, so you have A or B, and you also have A and B.
A and B is the overlap. The probability of the overlap.
No, okay. So, in the book, it gave me the answer to A or B, and A and
Where
B.
is A or B in our formula? Where is so right here is what you replace that with. You said the book tells me what A or B is, so then therefore that number goes right there.
Yes, okay. So then
It's just going to be an algebra problem. One of them will be unknown. Just set it up with an X.
So would it?
Solve it.
So would it be B by itself?
I don't know. You have to tell me. But we're not going to do homework right now. Okay. All right, back up here.
I have 5 fingers, guys.
Back up here.
Yeah, but.
Hey, stop what you're doing. Smaller. Okay. Now they can get slightly more challenging by the way they write the two events. Clearly that event there is blue, but what's this one say? See what I mean? It can be confusing because that doesn't say greater than 6. That says less than 6. Remember, we read from left to right, and when you read it, that's a less than symbol. It is, but that's not what this symbol is right here. So read from left to right. If you come to the mouth first, greater than, come to the point first, less than. So this means you have to be both less than 6 or blue.
I got this one.
All right. It is definitely, well, are there numbers less than 6 that are blue? All right. So it's overlapping. Go ahead, Kai.
6.
Probability of A.
5.
Oh my God.
Probability is a number out of another number.
Oh, less than 6.
What's the probability? Okay, 5 is not a probability. 5 is just a number.
Yeah, 5 out of 8.
So there are 5 numbers that are less than 6.
Yes.
Okay, so 5 out of 8. All right, keep going. Keep going.
Okay, and then 2 out of 8.
There are 2 numbers that are blue.
Yeah. Oh, 3.
How many numbers are both less than 6 and blue?
2.
So what do you want me to write?
Minus 2. What?
Oh my God.
Hey, you guys we're losing control of the classroom. Focus.
Minus 2 over 8.
Keep talking.
6 over 8.
Okay.
Right?
Can they be reduced?
3 over 2? Wait, no.
What goes into 6 and 8?
2.
Good.
3 over 4.
And that's the answer.
I did.
All right, who's lost? All right, how many boxes I got left? All right. Simply because he's not going to be happy and you guys are not going to be happy. On the homework, just as they did last night, they can give you pieces, parts here. They may give you everything on the right. They may give you what's on the left and most of what's on the right. If that's the case, it's just an algebra problem. I made a big point about differentiating. There's an or here on the left and there's an and here. When you read tonight's homework and it says the probability of A or B is 5 out of 4 or 5 out of 6, and that's where it goes. If they say the probability of A or B, A and B is 5 out of 6, then it would go right here. Okay? They're going to leave off one of the 1, 2, 3, 4 things. That becomes an X, and then it's just an algebra problem.
I see it.
All right. Yes.
When you said it, you said 5/6. Did you mean 5/8?
No, I was just making numbers up. All right. Quick notes. Once again, I forgot that I actually put this on the slide. Tonight for homework, sometimes they're going to use the word or, and sometimes they're going to use the word and for telling you values. When you look at the formula, the or goes right here for overlapping. The and goes right here. You put them in the wrong spot, you're going to get it wrong. So there is a difference. The or goes here. If you have a mutually exclusive, the or goes there and the and goes there.
What if it's like, what if the or goes like at the end?
It won't.
Like,
Not for mutually exclusive and overlapping.
or something else?
Potentially.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
But we're not there yet. All right. As always, right, this is what homework will look like. Notice. Do you see any words or here?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay. But I do see the word.
And.
Does mutually exclusive ever use the word and?
No.
So guess what this one is? This is an overlap. Now,
Overlapping use or as well.
it does.
But it's not in there. So it's not in there.
We got to figure out the or. Okay. So the formula, remember, for overlapping goes like this.
Yeah.
So I got one, see the commas? 1, 2, 3 things.
But that's
The formula has 1, 2, 3, 4. We're only missing one.
That's the
Which one are we missing?
A or.
We're missing this, so life is good. We plug in what we got.
Oh, wait, where's the B active?
It's right here.
Wait, what's 0.1?
Just take a deep breath. We're going to plug in things. What's the first thing it says? To the first comma.
0.25.
Goes where?
A.
Where's A?
The probability.
Right there.
Oh.
So my 0.25 goes right here. What's the next thing you see?
0.1.
For what?
Probability of B.
That goes right there. What's the next thing you see?
0.5.
For what?
For probability of A and B.
And it goes right there. So all I'm going to do is plug in those numbers.
And then you just add them all up and then they get you A or B.
That's when it happens. Okay. You can do this in your head. 0.25 plus 0.1?
26.
No.
0.26.
No.
Oh, 35.
Okay. Minus 0.05?
30. 3.
Use 30 is fine. Okay. See what I did there? Okay. More complicated one.
5.
Hey, what am I missing here? What am I missing? I got a B. I got an A. I got an A and B. What am I missing?
Plus.
In the formula for overlapping, what am I missing? I'm missing the or. The or is the start. Who's lost to what I'm showing you here? Tonight, this is why Landon had the question earlier. He didn't understand what was going on. Okay, we plug in what we got. Where does the 0.5 go? Where does the 0.5 go?
Probability of A.
Right there. Where does the 0.35 go?
Probability of B.
Right there. Where does the 0.1 go?
Probability of A and B.
Right there. Okay. I'm not sure why I have this second line here. I didn't need to put it there. Who's lost? Can we do this one in our head?
Yeah.
0.5 plus 0.35? It's not 40. 0.85. 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places. 3 plus 5, right? Be careful of that. Minus 0.1?
Minus.
And you're done. Make sure you look at that and you understand it. It's on your paper, box 6. Christian, what are you doing besides paying attention? It will get slightly more challenging if they give you the or. Slightly more challenging if they give you the or. I know. I'm just saying it will be slightly more challenging if they give you the or. All right, last one. With everything's decimal, most people don't panic, but now they're going to give you fractions without common denominators. It's the same process. We'll just have to get some common denominators. Okay, here we go. I know it's overlapping because they give me the and. If they give me an or, well, I have to be told whether it's overlapping or mutually exclusive. But they give you an and, I know it's overlapping. Okay? I plug in what we know. What's the probability of A? Probability of B? Probability of A and B. Okay.
Wait, or? Wait, shouldn't the or be in front though?
You can put it in the front or the back, either one.
Oh.
Okay. Do we have common denominators?
No.
So common denominator is?
8.
So that turns into?
6.
And that turns into? So we get? That isn't bad at all. Questions? Where's the homework? All right. Landon is going to read us.
I am.
We have one more slot.
We have one more?
No.
Landon is going to read us number 4 tonight for homework. Number 4. Okay. This is the only one you might get lost on. Okay, read.
PA equals 1/3, comma, PB
A little bit
equals
slower.
PB equals 0.75,
Ooh.
comma, P current open parentheses, A and B close parentheses equals 0.30, period, find P, A, or B.
Find P, what?
Comma, or open parentheses, A or B.
A or B. Do we have an A and B up there somewhere?
No. Or yes, we do.
It's mutually, it's overlapping. Done. Okay. Why is this one more complicated? No. The or is, they have it in there.
They have decimals and fractions.
They got decimals and fractions. Okay. Pro tip, Christian, how are we going to do this one? Got decimals and fractions. That's what I would do. 0.75, what is that going to be?
3/4.
Wait, what? Wait, why don't you turn a fraction into a decimal?
We could. Problem is that this is going to give us repeating decimal, and we can't do math repeating decimals. Okay. 0.3 fraction?
3/10. I believe. That's fraction. Yeah.
Remember to turn a decimal into a fraction. We put the number as the top, the numerator. The denominator becomes what's the place value of the 3? 10. Okay. So there are my 3 fractions. I can get common denominators with not pretty, but we can do that. What is the common denominator there? Ooh, ugly. What's the common denominator? Absolutely not. 3 doesn't go to 20.
Wait.
I got a 1/3, a 3/4, and a 3/10. Common denominator. It's not 20. It's not 100. 3 doesn't go to 100. 3, 4, and 10, common denominators.
20.
3 doesn't go into 20.
But 4 and 10 do.
60?
60.
But the 3 is on top.
What?
Oh.
60. By the way, 5-second rule. If you can't figure out the common denominator, what do you do? What do you do if you can't figure it out in 5 seconds? No. You're not going to have a calculator in CMAS for some of the tests. How do you find a common denominator if you can't figure it out in 5 seconds? What do you multiply?
2.
3.
All of the what? All the denominators. 3 times 4,
12
times 10.
120.
Are you guaranteed to find the lowest common denominator, which he said was 60? He's right. But you will always get a common denominator. Yeah, but you get 60. There's nothing to simplify.
Yeah, but once you get 120,
Okay, now what? But you don't know what to go down by because it's just one number.
you start with 2.
You can't just pick a number at random. You multiply the numbers together, you get 120. That's your common denominator. That's what you have to do math with. So But still, it's still faster than sitting there what you guys did for 20 seconds, maybe it was even 30 seconds, to figure out that 60 was the common denominator. We would have been done with the problem if we had started with 120. Okay, what times 3 is 120? 40. So that's 40 over 20. 30. Plus, what times 4 is 120?
30.
90.
90 over 120.
Okay.
3 times 4 is 12.
What times 10 is 120? What times 10 is 120? Minus 36. I'm out of space here, 120. We would have been done with the problem, or we could have waited 30 seconds to get, or longer to get 60. We would have been done with the problem. All right, get all your stuff out, get started on your homework, look it over. If you walk into my student advisement today and you're like, I don't know what to do, and you did nothing right now except stare at your neighbor, I will not give you help. So make sure you're looking it over to figure things out.
Go over 15, 16.
You're gonna mess with those. What's the issue? What does it tell you to do?
2 cubes are ruled times A and B in the odds against its occurrence.
What's A?
6.
What's brought on to 6? How many 6s can you get?
36.
That's how many things to have. How many ways to get a 6?
6.
You gotta do that thing with the dots. How many ways are there to get a 6? One way.
1 and 6.
That's a 7.
Oh, 1 and 5.
That's what you're gonna do.
I don't like that.
Look it over. So during student advisement, you're not going to come to me and say, I'm lost, because you've already looked it over.
Wait.
I said, if you come to me in student advisement and you've spent the last 5 minutes in class saying, no, I'm not going to look my stuff over, I'm going to talk to my neighbor, then I'm not going to give you help. Look it over. Ask questions now. Yes.
Gee. Wait, you did 4, and it's not even a fraction. It's just a decimal.
Look at the first part.
Yeah.
I wrote down what Landon said, so I wasn't paying any attention. 1/3 right there. You gave us the wrong problem. Landon,
What?
you read the wrong problem.
I did?
Yes. Because the 4, it goes PA equals 0.4.
You literally combined 2 problems into one.
Wait, I did?
What?
How do I do that? You're joking.
So we have no problems with a fraction
And a decimal.
No, there's no God.
Maybe.
So did I make it harder?
Yes.
Yes.
Then we did fine?
Well, we did fine.
Wait, you're joking.
Look, read it.
No, read it.
Read number 4.
He's gonna say B
Bro.
equals what
How did I? Everybody throw a pencil at Holler.
No.
I got plenty of those.
Everybody's getting I got plenty.
Jaden, we still have 5 minutes.
I know.
That took all the lead out.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be looking over your work.
I've already finished my homework.
You finished it all.
Yep.
What was the hardest one?
I have to say the last one.
Number 18.
Wait, but the reason
That was the easiest one.
it's 17.
Yeah, the cards were also
Hi.
Unless the cards were
Did I really do 2 problems in one?
Yes.
Hey,
Boo, do you want to see the? Okay. Now I
Wait, I'm going to call him the kid that couldn't count on his fingers
Okay,
in front
you said
of strangers.
how many things without holding up, and I had 5. 5 fingers on my hand.
You went there 1, 2. You said there's this one, there's this one, there's this one, and there's this one. And I said, how many fingers you're holding up? You went 5.
Yeah, because I was like,
You said how many fingers do you have?
yeah.
You said do you have?
We can play the audio.